Ladies and gents, boys and girls, what's going on? Thursday, October the 27th, 2022. Hope you're all doing well. Chris Phillips here of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show. Very excited to chat with each and every single one of you here on this Thursday. I see Lady Bree, Connor, Justin, Chickenham, Jonathan Lee, Chuck, Chase Orvin, Cody Gaskins, Rebecca. What's going on? Jay Morris. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Also, those in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to the TDC Questions channel. The TDC Questions channel. Be sure your questions are answered there, guys. We are taking your questions, your comments, and your calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Guys, as you can tell, I'm very fired up here on this Thursday. Just excited, man. We're a day closer to kickoff. I'll be recording tomorrow's podcast basically immediately after this, and I'm very optimistic and excited for this. Pumped to get back out to see with you all and then get back into Williams-Brice Stadium. We just had a call come in. Somebody tried to call, and they hung up immediately. So if you'd like to call back in, somebody says Facebook is down. Facebook is down. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Somebody says Facebook is down. I have no idea. That's weird. Okay, so Facebook doesn't feel like we should be rocking today. I don't know. I mean, we had it scheduled for Facebook. I don't know what to tell you, Travis. The phone lines here. Hunter, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. What about you?
I am doing well. Appreciate you tuning in. What's up, man?
That's good. Yeah. So this is kind of irrelevant, but it's not like it's kind of towards football. But I'm wondering who. So every time there's a press conference with Shane Beamer, who's that girl on the media that laughs every single minute when she talks?
I'll be honest with you, Hunter. I have no idea. I have no clue.
Yeah,
no idea.
Like she seems like she don't take nothing serious. I don't know what it is, but like. I don't know who it is or anybody. Like every time she asks a question, like after she asks the question, she'll start laughing. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
I know it's irrelevant, but I figured
I have no clue.
That's
Sorry.
all. Yeah, no problem. That's all I needed.
I appreciate it, Hunter. Thanks so much for the call.
Yep. Bye.
Yeah. Take care. Sorry, I'm just getting the link on Facebook for all I'm sure our Facebook peeps are like, what in the world's going on? I don't know. I don't know why Facebook tell Rebecca, tell Facebook to kiss our ass. Why not? Again, those tuned to the podcast version, by the way, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Of course, TDC drops every single day at 3:00 on our TSUS podcast feed. You can hear the full show there if you want to go back and listen. You want to hear any of our interviews. You got it. It looks like Facebook might be having trouble posting. Facebook might just be down as a whole because it looks like I can't even post anything. It's not even posting right now. Not even posting the post. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Either way, again, appreciate you all tuning in. Really, again, we probably just need to migrate this show from Facebook strictly to YouTube. I don't know. We'll figure that out. I normally like having it on Facebook because the show does numbers on Facebook. Anyways, though, of course, as always, guys, the Daily Crow brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Go download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com. When you do use the promo code TSUS at sign up, you're going to receive a 100% deposit match up to $100. And guys, it's all about prop plays. You can play anything and everything from college sports, NFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, you name it. They have got it. And so many listeners and fans of TSUS have made tons of money with our friends at Prize Picks. Go download the app or go to prizepicks.com. Use the promo code TSUS at sign up. You're going to receive a 100% deposit match up to $100. Guys, again, be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Again, love to hear from you. 843-790-3377. We do have J.C. Sherbert joining us at 1:15. J.C. Sherbert will join us at 1:15 to break down everything happening against Texas A&M and look ahead to this weekend's game against the Missouri Tigers. And guys, like I said, I'm feeling confident. I feel good. I understand the challenges. I know there are a lot of reasons to look at this game and be, I don't want to say concerned, but look at it with a critical eye. Obviously, Mizzou has played good football at times. We saw what they did against Georgia. Their 3 SEC losses have come by pretty close margins. So, Mizzou is not going to be some walk in the park, right? It's not going to be some easy game. But at the same time, I like the way South Carolina is playing. I like what I'm seeing from the Gamecocks. It's a team that's finding ways to win. And again, I'll talk about that more on the podcast that will drop tomorrow, of course. So anyways, guys, like I said, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the deal is with Facebook right now. I really don't. I don't know what the deal is with Facebook. Let's see. I'll try to post this again. I don't know. Facebook's not even letting me post anything. So there might be a lot of folks who need to go back and listen to today's TDC. I don't know. I don't know because we're missing about a third of our normal viewership that tunes in here. We're missing about a third of our viewership. Let's see. Lady Bree says, anybody starting the day off with fire sat comments at this point just needs to find some joy in life. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's the number one concern going in the game is the offense. But it's so funny. Like I went on JC and Phil's show Inside the Gamecocks, and I appreciate them having me on. But it's so funny. I was reading the comments, and of course, like the entire. I think at this point, I don't know. I think at this point, there's some people that. It's why folks like Colin Cowherd and Stephen A. Smith and folks like that are extremely, and I mean extremely successful in the national sports realm. And I'm not knocking them at all. I think those guys do a fantastic job doing what they do, and I understand where they're coming from. But there's some people, the only way they can talk sports is if they're debating or bantering something almost negative. I don't know if negative is the right word, but unless they're debating or bantering something, right? I mean, it is Thursday of Carolina Mizzou week, and we've still got people just endlessly, like the horse is dead, and people just continue to beat it constantly, every single day. Every single day. I mean, it's like there are other facets of the game to talk about, but nobody wants to talk about them, right? It's all about Sat. Every single freaking day, it's about Marcus Satterfield. Every day. And I'm not saying you're wrong for it, but it's like, I mean, it's just the same thing. Let's talk about Carolina Mizzou. Let's talk about this football game. I'll tell you this, by the way, sellout going into Saturday. Kudos to Gamecock Nation. Kudos to Gamecock Nation. A sellout yet again. Will be a packed, raucous environment. And I'm looking forward to it. And I understand, Chase, the O is we're not meeting expectations. We're not meeting our potential. I understand. I mean, the O is holding us back from what, though? We're 5-2. I thought the offense would be good, and I thought we'd be 4-3 at this point. So, you know what I mean? Like, I understand what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, though, that it's like, every day, the commentary from some folks is just people just want to debate Sat every day, and I'm like, I'd like to give it a rest for 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like I mean, I'm not. Listen, I told you guys after Texas A&M that the win is great. I'm on cloud 9. I'm giddy. And I can still also acknowledge that for the long-term health and success of the program, that most likely, yes, I think we need to make a change at OC after the season. Yes, I agree with that 110%. I'm not sitting here obviously leading the Fire Sat train because we're winning. It doesn't call for that, right? I mean, I've had Fire Sat merch. I've had Fire Sat merch sitting in pending for our online store since the week of the Kentucky game, guys. I've had Fire Sat merch chilling. And a lot of you have hit me up like, drop it. We need it. We need it. I'm just not going to be the guy to drop that type of merch when we're winning. I'm not doing that. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. Winning is fun. Winning is great for all of us. It's great for business. It's great for my life. It's great for all of our lives. Winning is fun. And I'm not going to put a damper on winning with the Fire Sat merch, right? So, I will just say this going in, and I know a lot of folks look at, which again, those who are tuning in from Facebook you're not on Facebook, obviously. Those tuning in that normally tune in on Facebook, I do apologize. I don't know why Facebook is down today. I'm not sure what is going on with Facebook. I can't even post oh, here we go. Okay, it looks like it just posted the link. It just posted the link to Facebook. There we go. We'll jump to the phone lines in the meantime. Chase, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, man. I was currently just tuned in. Decided I wanted to call in real quick since to all the people who including myself that talk about Fire and Satterfield. I apologize. This is my first time tuning in. I've been at work all week, man, so I didn't even realize this talk's been going on. Like, even now, I understand it's been going on previously, but it's just this morning I woke up, man. I'm looking at the stats and how we're doing, and I the only good stat I saw, man, that I'm looking forward to hoping seeing continues Brady Cook's away touchdown interception ratio. I'm hoping we had 2 more with Cam Smith or DQ or Darius Rush, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy it splits, man. But, zero touchdowns, 5 picks on the road.
But to the people that keep talking about Fire Satterfield, which is me, I think we worry, man, that if the talk stops and the people in charge feel like okay, maybe the chatter's gone away, he's doing an adequate enough job, and the bar is set too low for him that he stay with this team. And like I said, we scored 45, or I'd say it's about 30 plus against Mizzou, and we beat either Clemson or Tennessee. I actually wouldn't mind him coming back. But right now, we almost lost a game against a team we'd never beaten that we had 17 up on because our OC decided to throw 3 straight passes on the 5-yard line. That's unacceptable, man. And that's not a shot at you or anyone. I'm just saying, like, I don't think, VMAC or any of those other guys, Mike Bobo, as much as I did not like him for ditching us, those guys even seem more adequate than Satterfield at this point, man. And it's, it frustrates us. It feels like when we have things right on 2 out of 3 facets of the ball, we always have that one spot that's always just lacking. That's always just behind, that's not doing what they need to do. And it's not even just, they're not playing excellent. They're playing terribly.
Yeah.
And we did score when we needed to score, and I'm thankful we beat Texas A&M. I am. I sat there. I had me some lattes, and I passed out in bed, and I was happy. I was a beautiful morning that next morning. The birds were awake, and the sun was up, man, and I was happy as hell. But to say that we can't jump to 9-3 and 10-2 next, if we were to have the same roster, if we didn't have a better OC, is looking at how we're doing, we could. We got an amazing home field advantage right now, selling out almost every game. We got a defense that's, looking crazy right now. They got everyone. They got mostly everyone back. Our special teams is 3rd in the country. There ain't nothing. The limits is unreal, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen.
And that's not to say.
I said that. I was just gonna say I said the same thing during A&M too, man. I mean, I was as frustrated as anybody. It was abysmal to watch offensively. But I feel confident that Beamer knows that. Beamer's not a fool, you know what I mean? Like he knows we need to be more dynamic.
I know that.
He's not going to fire Satterfield today, tomorrow, next week. It's gonna be after the season if anything happens. You know what I mean? So it's like But I mean, I'm not knocking anybody for calling it. I'm in a good mood today. I'm in a good mood. there's a lot more to talk about when it comes to
let's
this
keep that
game than
negativity down. I understand what
yeah.
you're saying.
I feel like it's almost like some fans are allowing their disdain of Satterfield to just ruin the entire thing when it's like I don't know. I think we all know. We all know what at least I guess we know what the problem is. We know what it is. I just there ain't no question what the problem
it's not
is.
right. Yeah.
No, you're not a bad
you,
fan for calling for Sat's job. It's just like it's wild to me that it's like it's Thursday of game week against Mizzou, and like we are still having the same combo we had Monday. I mean, the banter, I get it. Yeah, the beauty's in the banter. I get it.
I got you, man. All right, well, I'm gonna head out, man. I appreciate you taking the call. All right.
Yeah, Chase, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Always good stuff. And again, Chase, obviously part of the Big Cock Club. I appreciate Chase. And listen, this show's for you guys. We can talk about whatever you like, but there's 3 phases of the game, and I will say this again. I think one of the interesting things about this ball game, folks, there's 2 sides. There's always 2 ways to look at things, right? There's always different perspectives, but people come in this game and I think on one hand, right, you feel like, okay, at some point, your defense and special teams are not going to make these big game-changing plays, and it's going to be, we'll say, even in those 2 facets of the game, right? And your offense, right, we all agree, is going to have to pick you up at some point. When that time comes, will they be able to do it, right? That is a very fair concern when it comes to this football team. On the other side, looking at this game specifically, people bring that mindset and mentality into it, and they say, man, look at Mizzou. They've been stingy defensively, which they have. They've been really close in their SEC games, which they have. And they're just a couple plays away, and they're sneaky good. Well, guys, I look at Mizzou as like they're finding ways to lose. They're finding ways to lose. Probably could have, should have lost to Vandy. They're finding ways to lose. Carolina is finding ways to win. It's hard for me to knock a football team that is simply just finding ways to win week in, week out. We all want the offense to be better. I wish we had Tennessee's offense. I wish we were scoring 50 a game, right? And I don't think anybody obviously is going to apologize for us finding ways to win in the meantime while we're figuring out the offensive side. And so when you look at a game like this weekend, I mean, who do you side with? I've seen people in our Big Cock Club Discord that are picking Missouri to win the game. And, hey, I respect all predictions and all opinions because, hey, guess what? If defense and special teams are even and it really just does come down to your offense, that could spell trouble. But are you going to side with the Gamecocks at home who all they've done is find ways to win the last 2 weeks, or side with Mizzou who, especially on the road but in SEC play, they just find ways to lose? I don't know. I just, again, I know all we talk about is offense. All people want to talk about is offense, but defense and special teams do matter. They do. Beamer ball to the freaking moon. And Chase Orford says, you'll feel a lot different if the L versus Mizzou comes because of our offense. I think, hey, Chase, listen, if we lose, we're having a totally different conversation next week. Winning cures all. Listen, there's no doubt. I'm not naive enough and ignorant enough to not acknowledge winning cures all. If you had lost to A&M and you had 286 yards of offense, are we not having a totally different convo? We have. We are. We're having a totally different conversation. I get that. I understand that. I get that. I don't know. Do you guys feel like South Carolina's a little bit of smoke and mirrors right now? Is that what y'all are feeling like? There's a lot of jaded Gamecocks in this chat, man. A lot of jaded Gamecocks in this chat. A lot of jaded Gamecocks. I don't want to spoil my prediction. I've already got my prediction locked in. Now, and Chase, I would say this. Chase says, yeah, our defense and special teams can't keep bailing us out. I'm glad we've won, but we're extremely lucky to be where we are. Bailing us out. I mean, right. I would say this. Mizzou has to score to beat us also, right? I think and you look at how Mizzou's been offensively. Guys, they haven't been good. They've been bad. They've been very bad offensively. Hey, guys, I saw a stat. I think yesterday. I think maybe Saturday on South posted it. Red zone efficiency. We're like 12th, right? Mizzou is dead last. Okay. For Mizzou to have the type of offensive day, let me paint this picture. I think for Missouri to have the type of offensive day to beat you, because they're going to have to score. One of three things will have to happen. Number one, you are so porous offensively, you're turning the football over. You're giving Missouri short fields. Number two, Missouri actually wins the special teams facet of the game. They get a couple big returns. They block a punt, something of that nature. Number three, your defense plays probably its worst game of the season. And Mizzou just has an unexpected offensive outburst. The odds that one of those things happens is unlikely. The odds that two of them happen is extremely unlikely. And the odds that all three happen is just flat out impossible. So I think you should feel confident. I'm just saying this, guys. I guess that, again, maybe I'm drinking Kool-Aid. Maybe I'm letting my fandom get to me. I mean, I see things very black and white. I see things for what they are, not what I want them to be. But South Carolina, guys, the Cocks are hot, man. The Cocks are hot. And so it's like, again, I don't blame anyone for having concerns about the offense coming in this game. I really don't. I understand where you're coming from. The offense has to play better. There's no doubt. But does it not also give you a shot of confidence to think like, bro, we're not even playing well offensively and we are winning? We're finding ways to win. And the offense, guys, do you realize we're averaging 23 points per game against Power 5 opponents? That's not good. It's not good, in case you're wondering. It's not good. 23 offensive points, just points per game against Power 5 teams. And Hunter, once again. Hunter, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Sorry for the overcalls. You know how there's a
Hunter, real quick. There you go. You were muffled there for a second. Now I think you're better now.
Oh, sorry about
there
that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I had my finger on the speaker box. Yeah. So I was wondering. So you know, there's a trending feed on Twitter about who's the real USC and all that, and there's Southern Cali and all this other bullshit. What if we played? What's your thoughts on if we played Southern Cali in a bowl game and see who the real USC is?
Dude, in a bowl game, regular season game, I'd love to see it. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I would. I think that'd be a really, really cool matchup.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I don't know if you can mention that to Beamer or not, or whoever does that, but that would be a good game.
I'll shoot Shane a DM and see if we can get it set up. Yeah.
But yeah, I just figured I'd say that. I figured that was a good idea, so why not say it? So
yeah, Hunter, I love it, man. I love it. Great idea.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Great stuff, Hunter. Guys, again, phone lines are open, 843-790-3377. Jeff Gullich says, it's like you said during the halftime, we have to find ways to win despite the offense. Good point. I'll say this too, though, Jeff. I'll say this too. Let me ask you guys this. 5 games to go, all right? Mizzou, Vandy, Florida, Tennessee, Clemson. And then a bowl game. 6 games to go. But we'll just talk regular season. 5 regular season games to go. Do you genuinely feel like this offense, it is what it is, it's doomed? This offense is not going to have a breakout game. They're not. They are what they are, and that's the phone lines. Brian Bennett, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Happy still.
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's up?
Yeah, I just want to. I'm not gonna hold you long, but I just want to give praise to somebody that we have gave praise to all year long. How about Luke Day, the unsung hero? This is the first time in a long time I've seen Gamecock players look physical and fit and have endurance on games. Like that is special to have a guy like him to just make us look like an AC football team.
And knock on wood, my friend, we're healthy. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You saw it last year too, but yeah, Luke Day, definitely the unsung hero, man, because, coaches will tell you that hire is so important because players actually spend more time with the strength and conditioning coach than any coach on staff, right? Because they're spending all the off season, the preseason, the spring. I mean, the entire year they're with that strength and conditioning coach. So having the right guy in that spot, in that role is key. It's pivotal. And Luke Day's done a fantastic job, man. And we're getting better as games go on. We're a second half team.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's all pretty much. Thank you,
Brian. I appreciate the call, man. Great stuff. No, he makes a great point though. Makes an absolutely great point. Anyways, guys, 843-790-3377. Listen, I'm not knocking anybody. I want to make it very clear. And I think y'all all understand this. I hope y'all all understand this. Even somebody like Coach Ford, I respect Coach Ford, actually. I meant to send him this via DM. I hope he's tuned in. I respect people that have an opinion, they stand by it, they're willing to debate it, they're willing to banter. They're not coming from a sense of ego like I'm right, you're wrong, but they've got an opinion and they debate it and they believe in it. And so I'm not, I love that folks bring the heat. I love that. This would be boring if y'all didn't. So y'all want to keep putting sap to the fire? That's fine. That's fine with me. Never change. I would say that. Never change. Never change. The goal of this show is not for me to give my opinion and give my banter and you guys just parrot back at me what I'm saying. Like the fun, the beauty's in the banter. There's the reason I say it. The beauty is truly in the banter. It's a lot of fun, man, to go back and forth. And I just thought it was funny this morning and going on JC's show and then starting here. It's like all of the comments. But I understand because you look at this game and you look at this season, defense playing well. Special teams, obviously playing well. It's the offense. The offense. If this team's going to get to 8-4, the offense is going to have to be better. Going to have to be better. Yeah, Chase, that hey, good point, Chase. That Rattler over. Wow. Tough. Very tough. Very tough indeed. Let's see. Jacob says, as a team, we're exceeding expectations for this year, and I think we feel that if the offense gets better and better, the Florida and Clemson games look more winnable. Preseason, everywhere else. I actually had us beating Florida, Jacob, in the preseason. I believe. Didn't I? Yeah, I had us beating Florida, losing to Tennessee. So, but I also thought the offense would be better. I think I had us beating Mizzou over the summer, like 45-21. Like, I really thought we'd have an offensive field day against them. So, the offense is – and guys, to me, it's very simple. There's no gray area here. I know some folks out there want to, watch film and do everything in their power. Do everything in their power to take the blame off of SAT. But we talked about it all summer. And guys, we'll have this conversation more in depth once the regular season concludes, right? When you're looking back at the season that was. We all agreed, right? Did we not? We all agreed over the summer. Marcus Satterfield is getting handed the keys to a brand new whip. You want to say it's a Ferrari? You want to say it's a Maserati? You want to say it's an Audi? Whatever. Whatever you want to label it. The upgrade across the board talent-wise was undeniable, right? It's undeniable. And if it didn't click and if it didn't work, there was going to be one guy to blame. I understand players have got to go make plays. I get that. But this is Marcus Satterfield's offense. That's it. This is his offense. And so the fact that it has not worked, it falls on him. It falls on him. Like it or not. And if you don't like it, you don't have to take the paycheck. I don't know exactly what he's getting paid, but it's probably close to $1 million. You don't have to take the check. I can guarantee you Marcus Satterfield is more than happy taking the heat, signing his name on that dotted line, and making sure them checks that come through for the University of South Carolina, they say Marcus Satterfield on them. Guys, he's more than happy taking responsibility. More than happy. Because he's getting paid a king's ransom for it. So there's no gray area here. 23 points per game against Power 5 opponents, that falls on Sapp. End of story. End of discussion. That's it. Josh Vann, 7 catches for 70 yards or whatever he's had, that falls on Sapp. End of story. Spencer Rattler, 5 TDs, 8 picks through 7 games, that falls on Sapp. It all points back to him. So maybe I'm a hypocrite because I was just saying, let's talk about other things. Let's not talk about it. But, you know, I understand it's the topic of conversation, right? I'll ask you guys this. Let me ask you this. Let's change the convo a little bit. And again, phone lines are open, 843-790-3377. Joseph, 23 points per game against Power 5 teams. Yeah, I think we're scoring 33 a game in all games. 23 against Power 5 opponents. I'm not trying to take away Charlotte and SC State, but I mean, nobody's looking back at this season and saying, well, I mean, we should extend Sapp because we scored 50 on Charlotte. You know what I mean? Like, no, nobody's saying that. I would ask you guys this. What's your, and this is a silly question, greatest concern? Like, are you more so concerned about this game because of our problems on offense, or is there anything specifically Mizzou does that you feel like they've got the advantage in the matchup, or they do something that doesn't bode well for us? And Kevin Cooper, he says, how does Rattlers 5 and 8 fall on Sapp? Well, Kevin, not only is Marcus Satterfield the offensive coordinator, he's the damn quarterback's coach. So, Kevin, yeah, it falls on him, my guy. It falls on him. Rattlers played good football. I refuse to believe that Spencer Rattler doesn't have the talent to be better than what he is. Is he being put in the best possible position? That's very much so up for debate. Satterfield is literally the quarterback coach. Let's see. Anyways, guys, we'll have JC Sherbert join us at 1:15. Really excited to get JC's full commentary and thoughts on this game upcoming this weekend. Tyler Knoll says Mizzou's defense is very stingy and plays extremely physical. The O-line is to show up big this week, and we got to be able to throw the ball down the field to win. They're good at stopping the run. Yeah, Tyler, I think you are going to see those deep shots again. Mizzou up front, very, very good. Of course, they got the Jeff Coat kid that went to Irmo. The other kid they've got that's having an all-SEC caliber season is Isaiah McGuire. He's been really, really good up front for them. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's the matchup that concerns you. Obviously, the Gamecocks offensively against their defense. I feel confident in Carolina's defense. They're going to have a pretty solid day. I will say, though, and this isn't really a prediction, but when Carolina and Mizzou play, doesn't it feel like weird things happen? Weird things, you know. It does. It feels like weird things happen. So I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if you see kind of a wacky game. I don't know. DGD, what's up, man? How are you? Brett Russ, we're averaging 33.14 points per game according to South Carolina website. Brett, 23 points per game against Power 5. I know we're averaging 33 in all games. 23 points per game against Power 5 opponents. That means Charlotte and SC State don't count. But it's just a stat. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away. That's just what the numbers say. Courtney, can't single out one thing and forget about the rest. I mean, I hear what you're saying, right? Players have got to go play, but I'm just saying, Courtney, when the dust settles and it's end of season, I'm putting the responsibility on Marcus Satterfield. I don't think there's any scenario that he gets bailed out by, well, you know, Spencer Rattler just wasn't really that good, and Jaheim Bell was overrated. You know, this guy didn't play to this. You should come back. I don't see that being a conversation. I just don't. I just don't. I just don't. You know, I don't see that being the combo, Courtney. Maybe I'll be wrong, and I trust Shane Beamer either way, but so yeah, Luther Burden. That's one of my key matchups, Cameron. Good name, you just. Aaron, what's up, man? How are you?
Oh man, I'm chilling, getting dressed for the gym and working my ass off, getting ready to come home. Let me tell you why I called today, man.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to one of my homeboys at home last night. We talked to each other like 2 or 3 times a week, trying to set up what I'm gonna do when I hit Columbia. And he talking trash about the Gamecocks, about how they've been lucky. Like the Kentucky's quarterback was hurt. Yeah, they would have lost that game. Or Texas A&M is in shambles. They would have lost that game, and still almost lost that game because they scored 17 in the first quarter, and didn't score much any other time. And that's all true. But then I just go back to him. How much bad luck has the Gamecocks had in their history? They're doing right to take advantage of it. That's at the end of the season. Nobody's going to remember that. They're taking advantage of every opportunity they can. I don't care how you win. I want every. No, I don't wish injury. Listen, I want the Gamecocks to capitalize on all of the mistakes or unfortunate circumstances the other team has, because for 100 years they've been having bad luck. And I'm just talking a little trash. They up right now, and we're gonna see how they finish out this season.
Yeah, I mean, listen, don't apologize for how you're winning. You know what I mean? Just find ways to win. That's the way I look at it. So
yeah, I can't.
I'd rather have a team that's got the characteristic trait of winning games and finding ways to win ugly, whether it's ugly, pretty, whatever, but ugly, than a team that's flashy, sexy with a bunch of playmakers that just finds ways to lose at the end of the game. It's all about winning for me, man. I want to win. The devil's in the details. Yeah, just find ways to win.
He was hating. He even admitted it at the end. Right. He was hating. But it's nice to see, a ranked team. What I'd like to see them do is finish this off and not, typical Gamecock fashion. Come here, baby. Typical Gamecock fashion. I'm here with my old lady. Yeah, typical Gamecock fashion. We'll do something crazy before the year ends. But this Shane Beamer, that I almost said MF. Yeah, that dude. That dude, hey, he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing with Satterfield holding him back. So we just want to see what happens, man. I'm gonna keep watching. You do your thing. I'm getting dressed. Today is leg day again.
I love it, man. I love it. Aaron, you're a legend, brother. Calling anytime. Right, appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah, man. Take care. Aaron, absolute legend. That call. Legendary. Anyways, guys, 843-790-3372. We got a Vol fan in the chat. God, Rebecca's about to have a fit. Drew Johnson says, Chris, at minimum, how many times a game would you get the ball in Jaheim Bell's hands? Yeah, and I know this stems from the comment from Sat yesterday, which it's interesting. Marcus Satterfield is reaching what I don't know, just an insane level for like his press conferences. He says and he can't say anything, right? He's going to be held to the fire no matter what until the offense clicks. But yesterday when he made the comment about, if we're up to me, we give the ball to Jaheim Bell 1,000 times. It's like, is it not up to you? Is it up to someone else? And so obviously I think the way that Jaheim Bell's been used has been pretty tough to stomach. Here we go. Bree, what's going on? How are you?
Hey, Chris. So, hey, just kind of touching on what you were saying there. That comment is going wild, of course. But I do want to remind everybody, everybody, well, he's the offensive coordinator. Of course, it's his job to get it. The only possible way that you can guarantee the boy gets the ball in his hands is if he's at running back or quarterback. That's it. And obviously, we know if we keep putting him at run, every time we put him in the backfield, the problem is he always gives them the ball. And he's got to quit doing that. I've spoken that at length, but you cannot guarantee the guy gets the ball in his hands no matter how many times you draw the play for the kid. You know what I mean? Now, the other issue, he's not getting enough snaps. I've talked about that. I've said it. I spoke on it on length. But as far as you cannot guarantee that you draw up a play, it's going to get the bell just because the play is drawn up for him. I mean, that's just not a thing. You can't just say, well, he's the OC, so of course he could get it in his hands every time. Only if he's the quarterback. Only if he's the quarterback is the ball going to go to his hands every time. And that's if they don't run some stupid wildcat for no damn reason.
Right. But you would also agree that he has not touched the football enough. You would agree with that, I assume.
He's not touching the football enough because he's not in enough snaps. Now, we could debate that and say, look, is it because the blocking? But you've heard me talk about that. They keep talking about how his blocking's improved. My main issue with Bell is not being in enough snaps. Now, Marcus Satterfield said this. Let's give him some credit. He said something I've been saying for weeks, though. I don't know why he's just now figuring it out, or just now mentioning it. I just don't think that guy knows how to handle an interview, quite honestly. But I said weeks ago, I'm like, you have got to get Bell in the game when he's not actually getting the ball handed to him.
Right.
Now he's saying that. He's like, well, I got to get him in the game more. He's doing enough stuff for us to get him in the game more. So, listen, part of some things he says almost points to the fact that maybe they overhyped Jaheim Bell going into this season. You know what I mean? We're all expecting it because we saw, some huge breakout performance at the very end of last year. You know what I mean? But reality, Bell wasn't some big star last year either. We had a big game at the end of the year. The same thing with Junior. Why aren't they getting all these snaps? Man, we're not at practice. I don't know what's going on. I can assume some things I'm hearing from them that maybe Bell's not the player that we all maybe imagine he was. I don't want to say that because, we know the kid's an athlete. I feel like that other side of that equation that it's easy to just kind of dismiss and go, well, he's amazing. Well, we don't know how amazing he is. There's no real actual numbers and game after game consistency that says Bell's so amazing. He had an amazing bowl game. He is an amazing athlete. We can see that he's an amazing athlete. We've also seen a couple of drops from him in some key situations. Just had one just this past week. You know what I mean? And honestly, the play before that, I was just breaking it down. I just put out my first half breakdown. The play before the drop, he got a 4-yard. He caught the ball for like 4 yards or something or whatever it was. But I also felt like I was like, man, and the guy, struck him down by his leg, and I'm like, man, Jaheim's supposed to be this big, strong athlete. He's so athletic. Lloyd would have broke that tackle. You wouldn't have let that guy drag him down to the ground. You know what I mean? And he's not anywhere near Jaheim Bell's size. So there's that other side of that equation too. It's like sometimes I feel like maybe we're overhyping Bell based off of one game. I'm not saying we are. I'm saying maybe we are, and maybe we don't know that because we're not at practice and not. What the heck is going on there day to day? They talk about it. They speak about it. And we don't want to believe them, or some of us don't want to believe that's what's going on because we have it in our heads that Bell was this amazing athlete. And the coaches did that on themselves because what did they all say preseason? We've got to make Bell touch the ball all the time. We're going to form our offense around Bell. They said it. Now we're looking for it. Maybe they've overspoke, and maybe they need to come back and say, you know what, honestly, we overspoke preseason. We didn't realize all the weapons we had coming in at all these different positions. We thought Josh Sand was going to be our leading receiver this year, but man, Juice Wells and Jalen Brooks have just been killing it, and Josh hasn't. Now Josh is starting to emerge again. Hey, we'll see. It's hard to say all that. I hate the reading into those little comments like that. Like, it's the same thing with and the one I was calling for was Beamer made the comment about he said it was like, well, why do you have to tell them to get the ball to the playmaker stands at halftime? He didn't say halftime. He said third quarter. At the end of the game, he said somewhere in the third quarter, he told Marcus Satterfield, just get the ball to your playmaker. Now, he was already putting the ball in those guys' hands at that point. So it could have been that he didn't feel like he was doing it enough, or he could have been, and let's remember, Coach Beamer is not the kind of coach that's throwing his guys under the bus. So he's not going to get up there at the end of the game and try to say something bad about Marcus Satterfield purpose. So he could have, and we also know that guy is super positive. So it could also simply be that he was making the comment that he was reminding his coach that if he keeps giving those guys the ball, they're going to win them the game. They're not going to let them down. It could have just been simple and encouraging. It could be either way.
Yeah. I think my biggest surprise with Bell is that they didn't just move him to receiver after the bowl game. I just don't see Jaheim Bell as a hand in the dirt type of player. He's not. I don't see him that way at all. I don't know. I mean, I'm not at practice every day. I'm just surprised he wasn't moved like a pure receiver. I don't know. So
I don't disagree with that. I mean, hey, look, you heard me talking about it earlier in the year. I felt like, the utilization of him as a two-back, like as a fullback could work, but then we're not utilizing him fully at that capacity. We just put him in the backfield and go, hey, here's the ball. There was a big play in the last game where it was like a short down. It was 4th and 1 right at the end of the game, and we hand the ball off to Bell, and of course they shut it down. This play, I thought Lloyd should have got the first down. I think I heard JC talk about that. Yeah. But then the next game, we put Bell in the backfield, handed it to him, and it shut down because every time he's in the backfield, we give him the ball. Yeah. He's got to do other stuff from there if he's going to do it, man. He's got to go out for a route.
Yeah, the best way to improve Jaheim Bell's blocking is just stop asking him to block. I mean, just stop. Just stop doing it. I mean, it's just, yeah.
And that might be the thing, man. That just might be the thing.
So what I would do.
Sometimes you're trying to force force a round peg into a square hole.
Right. Right. Or vice versa. Yes. Absolutely.
So I mean that's what were you saying? What were you going to do?
Yeah. Well, anyways, Bree, I will say this.
Yep.
My prediction will come tomorrow. Call me crazy. I don't think we're going to turn into Tennessee overnight, obviously, but I actually do feel optimistic that an offensive breakout game is coming. I think there will be a game, whether it's this weekend, Vandy, or whenever, that some of those deep shots will connect. I thought Spencer Rattler played one of his best games, if not his best game, against A&M, if you really go back and watch it. So I maybe am a little bit more optimistic than most about the offense moving forward. I'm not sitting here saying that Marcus Satterfield needs to be extended or whatever. We'll reevaluate when the dust settles, obviously. And I still am concerned about situational play calling and instinct and awareness, as I talked about earlier in the week. But I feel like at some point those deep shots are going to connect. I think we're going to see some big plays. So we'll see if it's this weekend. We'll see.
I said a few weeks ago this is going to be the game. Yeah, I think it is. I think this is going to be the game. Now I just made a comment with something I thought too. The only problem with hoping that they make a change this year, or after this year is over, that means we're also hoping that the offense doesn't look amazing for the next 5 games or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, or what is 6 games we got left? No, 5. We got 5 left.
Above all else, I want to win. I want to win and score a lot of points above all else. So.
Yeah, and if we score a bunch of points and the offense does look amazing to end the year, are we going to get rid of Satterfield then? We might, who knows, you know what I mean? But, I mean, right. That's what I'm saying. These guys are hoping for the change, kind of also means you're hoping that we don't look much better for the rest of the year, too. Right. If we don't, then we got to make a change. Right. But hoping that that's going to be the thing, kind of just I don't know. Kind of wrong there. You're a little wrong there. You're like you're hoping that the offense doesn't look amazing the rest of the year.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Bree, we're about to get JC. We got to jump into a break real quick, but I appreciate you calling in as always.
All right, later, dude.
Hey, always a pleasure. Appreciate Bree. Yeah, thank you all so much. Appreciate Bree for the call. I see my guy Phil Harris has jumped in. We got a Tennessee Volunteer fan, calls in hell. My guy John Rice is in here. Jeff Gullidge. We're rocking. We're rolling here on this Thursday, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into a break. On the other side, do I want to continue to hear from you? 843-790-3377. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Again, guys, we got my good friend J.C. Sherbert of the Big Spur Inside the Gamecocks. He will join us at 1:15. And assuming we keep the phone lines rocking, we won't take a break, guys, because that's just in 20 minutes. So y'all want to call in? Again, 843-790-3377 as we sit on the eve of game day eve. Very excited to get back in Columbia. Obviously, the TSUS tailgate, guys, Saturday at Seawells Spot 78. We will have the Beamer Ball towels and koozies for sale. I will not go ahead and jump to the phone lines.
Hall of Famer.
Robbie Davis, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Just finishing up eating lunch. How's your Thursday going so far?
It's going fantastic, man. I appreciate you asking. What's going on?
I wanted to say this, and I've said this before, right? I don't care how it happens. I don't care what we do. As long as we win, I'll be happy, okay?
Robbie Davis don't give a damn about style points. He just wants to win the game. I respect that.
Style points? Screw style points. I just want to win. I don't care.
I respect it. I respect that.
Because winning is fun.
Confirmed. Winning is
style
fun.
Style points can go to the back of the bus and stay there. I don't care about style points. I don't care. Winning is all that matters. Okay? Do I wish the offense played better? Absolutely, I do. But you know what? Right now, our defense is playing fantastic football right now. And our special teams is playing at a level that I was not expecting it to be in year 2 of Shane Beamer. Okay? I just want us to win. Period. End of story. Done. I don't care if we wind up having the same amount of offensive yards as we had against A&M, okay? You know what? The only stat that matters, Chris, is the scoreboard. That is the only stat that freaking matters, period. You win the scoreboard, you win the ball game, period. I don't give a flying monkey fart what the stats look like. You win the scoreboard, you win the ball game, period.
Amen, brother. Amen. Preach on, brother. Preach on.
The reason we won that ball game against A&M was because we had more points than A&M. I could care less about the stats. We won the most important stat on the day, and that is the scoreboard stat, period. And do I wish Rattler was playing better and had more touchdowns? Yeah. But you know what? It is what it is. We're winning ball games. I don't care. Okay? I do not care. I just want us to win. Okay? Winning is fun. I don't care how it happens. Just win. Go out there this coming Saturday at 4 o'clock and beat Missouri. I don't care how you do it. Just do it. Because like I have said before, somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. And I'm going to give you my prediction at the end of this, but I'm just telling you, okay? I do not care. I'm going to show up Saturday, hoping we win, as always, okay? I'm going to cheer my guts out. I'm going to cheer until I can't cheer no more, period.
Do you know where you're sitting, Robbie?
I'll be sitting with my stepdad in his seat.
Which is
I'll be like completely on the other side of where I was sitting last Saturday.
Okay. Okay, got you.
But and my mom's gonna be pissed, okay? But Mom, if you're listening, this is only a prediction, okay? All this is a prediction, okay? Hey, you know the saying, Chris, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So my prediction is Missouri 31, South Carolina 28. That is my prediction. That is my prediction. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Hot darn, I'm going to just keep that. If it's working, don't fix it, okay?
31-28 Mizzou is what Robbie Davis is going with.
Yep. And trust me, this is very hard because I was very tempted for Pickers to win, but I was like, I can't do it. I just can't.
Robbie, you're preaching to the choir, man. It feels like every season I reach a point where the opposite of what I'm picking happens, and so I have to also fall on the sword. So I understand what you're saying. I get it. I get it.
And I'm picking it as if I don't know if you like. I think you've said this before, but I picked the game as if I'm like betting on it. Okay. I picked the game as if I have money on the line. Okay. So I'm picking Mizzou to win. That's my prediction. Is Mizzou's going to win 31-28. Now, like I have told my mother 1,000 times, do I want that to happen? No. All it is a prediction. Okay. So, Mom, if you are listening, you can be mad at me from the hospital bed all you want, okay? But I'm going to show up Saturday and hope that we kick Mizzou's ass, okay?
I love it.
Because they're due for a butt cutting.
By us, yes. Yeah, we've lost 3 in a row to them. We've never beat Eli Drinkwitz. Never beat Eli Drinkwitz. Even when he was at Appalachian State, which Shane Beamers is not and should not be held responsible for because that wasn't his team. But, yeah, we need to put an end to that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And in case anyone cares right now, the season opener for the men's basketball team will be on the SEC Network at 7 o'clock on the 8th of November.
Okay, I don't think I saw that.
I know that because I looked on my Gamecock app and it said 7 p.m. against South Carolina State SEC Network. So I was like, okay, note to self, I'm going to watch that game. Okay. But anywho, I will be there Saturday, ready to cheer until I can't cheer no more. If we turn that stadium into the atmosphere that it was this past Saturday, Missouri ain't got no chance in hell, okay? They ain't got a snowball's chance in hell at walking out of Willie B with a W, okay? I'm just telling you. Because if it's anything like it was last week, Mizzou don't stand a chance. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. Yeah, I agree 110%. I'm just letting you go, Robbie. I'm just an avid listener
What
like
time
everybody
is it? 'Cause I
else
don't
tuning
wanna
in.
go
It's
over. What time is it?
104. Yeah, it's 104.
But like, look, right? Obviously, I said yesterday, right? Somebody told me that they did not renew Satterfield or Atkins's contract, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they didn't do that, right? So obviously, a decision will be made at the end of the season. Okay, so those of you that want him fired now, it's not going to happen until the end of the season. Sorry to burst your bubble and piss you off, but that's a fact. If they haven't fired him yet, they're going to wait till the end of the season.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it'd be kind of crazy to do it right now. Yeah. I mean, it just wouldn't. What do you gain?
You'd be stupid. You'd be extremely stupid to do it right now.
Yeah. And if there are any changes occurring, they're going on behind closed doors, and we're not going to know. We're not going to know about it. So
exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to be hush hush. No one's going to know until they are like, wait, something feels different, and then you're going to know something happened. Okay. Just sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of this season because we ain't got many games left. Okay. We ain't got that many left. like I said in the off season, there's only 12 games and 7 of them are home games.
We
So
only got
enjoy
2
the
home
heck
games
out of
left.
them.
Only got 2 home games left.
2 home games left this week, and then what? We play where? It was Tennessee's at home.
We
right?
play
Right?
Vandy, Florida, and Clemson on the road.
Golly, why do we got to travel to Death Valley? Why do we got to travel to the fake Death Valley? Seriously,
I was about
the
to say,
real
Robbie,
Death Valley's in Louisiana.
Yeah, I was going to say we don't play LSU this season, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the real Death Valley's in Louisiana. Sorry, Clemson fans, but it's a fact. The real Death Valley is in Louisiana. I don't give a damn about y'all's win streak. The real Death Valley is in Louisiana. Okay? I do not care. That is the real Death Valley. Okay? That is where streaks go to die, as they say. And I just feel like if Beamer is doing the best that he can with the players that he has, okay, do we have great athletes? Absolutely we do, okay? Yes. But help, like as he said before, help is coming, and it ain't here yet. So I'm very excited to see what this team will look like in years 3 and 4 of Shane Beamer. Because this is only year 2.
Yeah, I'm excited when he gets his players in there for sure. I want to go back to your point about style points or lack thereof or whatever, because I said all summer that how you win and how you lose was what was important or was very important in year 2 of Shane Beamer. And I'm not going to say it has no importance, but I almost kind of want to go back on that because winning trumps all.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're winning, that's all that matters.
Yes, that's a fact.
Yeah, that's all that matters. So.
Yeah.
But yeah. So 31-28 Mizzou. You're locked in. Robbie, I appreciate it, man. Like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I understand where you're coming from.
If it ain't broke, goddammit, don't fix it. You'll just make it worse.
Facts.
So.
Well, Robbie, I appreciate you calling in, man. It's always a pleasure. You're a legend. Happy that you'll be at Willie B Saturday. If you got time, stop by, see Wells. If not, maybe we'll maybe I'll somehow scope you out again in the stadium.
Good luck. Forget where's Waldo. It's gonna be where's Robbie.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yep.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Go Cox and whoever Clemson's playing Saturday.
They're on the bye week.
Them,
they're on a bye week, so go bye week.
Oh, so they're probably favored to beat the bye week like a dog, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. Favored to beat them like a dog. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one. If I don't see you Saturday, you be careful getting yourself to Columbia. All right.
I appreciate it, Robbie.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
Yeah, man. You too. Appreciate you. Always a legendary call when Robbie Davis chimes in. It's not a game of where's Waldo, but it's a game of where's Robbie. Indeed. Guys, JC Sherbert going to join us at 1:15. We will just continue to rock. We're not going to take another break. It's all good. Who needs a break? Again, though, I will say this to Robbie's point. I spent a lot of time with this over the summer talking about style points, right? Talked about that a lot in the preseason. Style points, how you win, how you lose. But now that we're in the midst of it, I got to be honest with you guys. I don't really give a damn if you win with defense and special teams every single week. And I don't understand. I know that we want to see this team be better offensively. No duh. We all do. But I'm not going to hold it against this team that on a week in, week out basis, they're just finding ways to win. Like, I'm just like, if you go beat Mizzou the same way, if you go beat Mizzou because of Beamer ball to the freaking moon, if you go beat Mizzou because an opportunistic defense and an offense doing just enough to capitalize, I mean, is anybody going to be upset by that? If you punch your ticket to bowl eligibility and you stay in the top 25 and you keep the same winning formula, I understand that the way you're playing right now is not a recipe for success to go win the SEC in the long term. We all know that. Dang, I'm sitting here. I didn't realize that I was off the screen. Damn it. My bad. I'm sitting here with the I was sitting there with the freaking the Discord up on this side where like my side is covered. I didn't even know I was off the screen. My bad, guys. No, the show is not over. The show is not over. I don't know. Melon's kind of going through it today. We're having some flickering with the mic. We're having anyways. I the point I was making, I don't even know where it cut off. I don't know where it cut off. This football team's finding ways to win games. Right? I'm not going to hold it against this football team. Mizzou has found ways to lose football games. They have found ways to win. Phil, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, man. Pretty good. How you doing?
I am doing well. Appreciate you asking. What's up?
I'll be real quick. I just wanted to say it was a awesome feeling seeing that article yesterday about Carolina finally getting rid of the U of SC failure from the marketing department. I'm hearing reports that 99% of the interactions that they've seen and the comments that are flowing in are positive regarding that. When that took place, and I've never accepted that. I've always wanted to vomit when I saw it being posted and used by the university. It just felt very defeatist. And I frankly don't give a damn about USC on the West Coast. Dude, we can both have it. Like, it is what it is. I understand that there was a lawsuit involved with it, but ultimately we are USC and we're Carolina and we're the University of South Carolina. So I feel like the university kind of lost its way when they implemented the U of SC thing. And it's so glad with all of the positive momentum with athletics right now to see that USC is being acknowledged by the university and being put forth as our initials. It's just with all of the good feelings with Beamer and stuff like that, it just all feels excellent to be a Gamecock right now. Speaking of that, I wanted to let everybody know that the Carolina men's rugby team has advanced to the SEC equivalent of the championship game for our conference. That will be played against Tennessee in about 3 weeks or so from now. So super excited for Coach Roberts and the boys having the opportunity to lift a trophy for the conference in 15s. Of course, they did it last year with 7s. The 15s, a whole different ball game. We've been less successful in the 15s version of rugby than 7s. So to get that would be just an excellent accomplishment. And that's all I got for you. Go Cox.
Phil, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Great stuff.
Bye.
Yeah, you guys support Carolina rugby, no doubt. Always great to hear Phil call in. And, yeah, I mean, I think we all agree. South Carolina acknowledging the USC, embracing that, the rebrand makes too much sense. TaylorMade says Beamer Ball can beat the bottom teams, but we're going to need an offense to beat the better teams, Chris. Imagine me telling you in the preseason that you're referring to Kentucky and Texas A&M as the bottom teams. All you can do is beat the teams in front of you, man. We're not in an argument because I'm not denying that the offense has to be better in the long, because it will catch up to you, right? Like at some point it'll catch up to you. At some point it will catch up to you. You're going to have to score to win. You know, your defense isn't going to bail you out. Your special teams isn't going to make those big plays. So at some point it's going to happen where you're going to have to score. I get where you're coming from, but again, I'm just not going to hold it against this team that they found a way in back-to-back games to beat teams where they were the underdog. And you know what? Defense and special teams played a big part in that. I hope that stays. I hope that's a recipe that never goes away, and that while that's happening, the offense obviously also figures it out. But again, don't apologize for winning. I don't give a damn how it looks. Somebody who knows a lot about winning, he joins us every single Thursday. JC Shurburtt of the Big Spur inside the Gamecocks. JC, what's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Oh, great to be with you, Chris. Certainly always look forward to Thursdays and our chats here on the Spurs Up Show on the Daily Crow. I got to get that right. I've called it like the Crow Line, and my bad on that. But it's the Daily Crow. Always glad to be with you, man.
Yeah, man. JC, it's always a pleasure. And I want to say thank you first to you and Phil having me on Inside the Gamecocks this morning. The chat was incredible. And, hey, man, let's jump right into it. Obviously, this past weekend, incredible. That Texas A&M game, getting that win, getting that Aggie-sized monkey off your back, if you will. Gamecocks, finally. We don't have to talk about the streak anymore, JC. South Carolina gets the win. 5-2 now, and so many firsts and so many different things, positive statistics favoring Carolina. You've won four in a row for the first time since 2013. Now ranked in the top 25 for the first time since September 2018. You get your first win over the Aggies, and you started in style with the Xavier Legette kickoff return for a touchdown, then the pick, then the Tonka play. Before you could even blink, you're up 17-0. How about that start from Carolina? We talked a lot about, which team's going to come out of the gate. Both teams start slow. I think the Gamecocks took that personally, JC, because you really could not have asked for a better start in that football game.
No doubt. And what makes it even, more special to me as a native of South Carolina, all three kids that you just mentioned are South Carolina kids. Xavier Legette is from, Mullins, Mullins, one of those.
Yeah.
I knew he was in the PD. And then, of course, Darius Rush is from down near Carver's Bay-ish, or he was at the it's in Greeleyville. I know that. And then, of course, Tonka's from Conway. So really happy for those kids. And sometimes when you start like that, Chris, Steve Spurrier used to talk about it. When you return the opening kickoff for a touchdown, sometimes bad things end up happening. Because you just start real quick. It's like, And I remember twice specifically, 2 games involving the Florida Gators. The championship game against Ohio State. You remember Ted Ginn for OSU. They were heavy favorites. Urban Meyer's first championship in 2006. Returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Final was 41-14 Gators. Then in the Swamp in 2010 against Carolina, Andre DeBose for Florida returns the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Final score 36-14 Gamecocks. What's cool about what's happening at Carolina now is that this is the third straight game in this program's history where they've returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown and won. Debo did it against NC State in 17. He did it against Ole Miss in 18. Both those were wins. They're away from home, but they were wins. And then Xavier does it the other night. The Gamecocks win. So that's, I think, kind of in a reverse trend there. The Gamecocks do well when they get off to that kind of start. And certainly, just from the standpoint of Xavier Legette probably has not gotten the targets and catches he expected coming in. I think we all kind of expected more numbers out of the receiving core, the passing game as a whole. But the kid just goes out and plays ball, plays his butt off, okay, you want me to return kicks? Fine, I'll do it. You want me to go make a tackle on special teams? I'll do it. Yeah, he's a big athletic kid to start with. And I think that just epitomizes what Shane Beamer has done with this program as far as developing a sense of togetherness and teams that are together, no matter what the struggles are, no matter what the offensive play calling does, no matter you have a turnover or whatever, they tend to be resilient and they tend to win a whole lot more than they lose. And that was on display Saturday night. And look, I've been critical of the offense all week and all year and for 20 games, man. I mean, just be honest.
Yeah.
But what I liked about it was the players and the team. When Carolina's sitting there needing a touchdown, they go on a drive and score. Later on, Aggies cut it 24-21. The Gamecocks go on another drive and score. That's how you win games. And people, I think, get caught up sometimes in the style points and stuff like that. And they forget, heck, when Carolina beat Alabama in 2010, right? That game, of course, it was a, much more highly touted opponent and all that good stuff. But that game kind of flowed like the A&M game. You had the big start for the Gamecocks, 21-3, first quarter. Later in the game, you had the Garcia safety, which, by the way, was the right play by Steven. A lot of people think he just lost it and did it. That was the right call. Yeah. And so it's 21-14. Okay, so you need a drive. So they start riding Marcus Lattimore. Steven starts completing passes over the middle on third down. Brian Maddox has a big run. So the 28-14. Well, Bama responds, 28-21. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to go right back down the field. Marcus is in the end zone, touchdown. At that point, you knew you were going to win the game. This team this year did that against A&M. Every time the Aggies got back in it and it looked like they were going to snatch momentum, the defense made big plays. They played resilient. They just were not going to be denied. I think that unit played very inspired football Saturday night. And then the offense, as up and down as it was, came through when they needed it. And I think that's very, very important when you're talking about, if they get into the weeds a little bit this weekend, oh, well, we've been here before. We can be resilient. We can come back. We were a second half team, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think all those things were immensely positive beyond beating A&M. And you mentioned the streak. Okay, so now South Carolina's beaten every team in the SEC at least once. And Texas and OU are coming in. They've never played Oklahoma. Hopefully they don't start another streak against Oklahoma. We'll see how the schedule goes out. But they did beat Texas in 1957, the only time they've played them in Austin. King Dixon, who used to be the athletic director at Carolina, I think returned a kickoff for like 100 yards, and Carolina won like 7-0 or something like that. But so 15 of 16 now the Gamecocks have beaten, and certainly, you know, was good to beat A&M, you know, given like the immense hype surrounding their program and stuff. I kind of think it's positive when you can beat a team, no matter how much they're down, when they're super hyped, because obviously it causes a lot of discussion nationally and your program gets exposure. So I think all those things were positive about Saturday.
JC, am I crazy for feeling a bit of a sense of optimism about the offense going into this weekend? Because, you know, I was at the game and I was as frustrated as anybody sitting there in the stadium. And, you know, there are many times where we've been frustrated watching this offense. And I used the term sputter a couple of weeks ago to describe it. It fit that billing for a lot of that ball game. But I really feel like, obviously, Marshawn Lloyd gives you a lot of reason to be excited. The offensive line continues to improve week to week, which I think that's a huge matchup in this game. I think Missouri, obviously, you look up front with Jeff Coat, McGuire, and those other guys, and their linebacking core. They're solid defensively, all right? They're stingy. They're very stingy. They're good. They're good on defense. But I thought Spencer Rattler had, I think, if not for a couple of drops, I think the narrative this week is much different about the way he played. I loved seeing him on the run, making throws on the run, showing off the accuracy, the arm strength, if you will. He made a couple throws in that game on Saturday that I looked at and said, this is why you wanted him, and there's only a handful of guys in college football that can put that ball where he put it on the money like that. I don't know if it's going to be this week or Vandy or what have you. And I'm not trying to have the garnet glasses, obviously, but I've just got this gut feeling of, for whatever reason, I feel better than I felt about the offense this time last week. And I feel like maybe, you know, and certainly the factor of, you know, my concerns regarding Marcus Satterfield and his feel of the flow of the game and his instinct or lack thereof, what have you. But in regards to the players and the playmakers making plays, which is what it all comes down to, players making plays, I feel like this is a team that is at least getting closer. And I don't want to sound like coach speak. I don't want to sound like, you know, again, Chris is trying to paint a garnet and black picture, but like, I have to feel like at some point, because Marshawn Lloyd's going to keep doing his thing. Like at some point, those deep passes, those big plays, they're going to connect at some point. I don't know if it's going to happen this week or next week, but give me your thoughts on the offense, what you saw, and do you share that sense of optimism? I know you mentioned earlier this morning a cautious optimism. Just your overall thoughts on the offense coming out of A&M.
I know. Yeah, I was going to ask you, and you kind of answered what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, do you know why you're optimistic? Is because Carolina's got good players. You know, they got. You know, you got Stogner. What I thought he had a really good game. I mean, he was interfered with on one of those catches badly. I still called it, man, and flexed. Yeah, I like to see him get excited because
SEC refs were very on brand Saturday night. We'll put it that way. I don't know why they felt like it was pick on Cam Smith night, but they did.
Cam Smith that was criminal. I mean, he didn't even. I mean, you can touch the guy, you can't interfere with the guy. You can touch him, you know. So anyway, that was a, you know. But you look at a guy like Stocker. You know, you look at Jaheim Bell, who actually, you know, even though he's got limited snaps and nobody's happy about that, you know, he caught a key third down in, 11 and went for 15 yards, broke a couple tackles, went up there, you know, he made a big play. Juice made that big catch, which was a wow throw, I thought, over there on the sideline where he jumped up. They've run that a lot, and Juice is really good at catching that. And we know what he can do because we saw him against Arkansas and Kentucky. Light it up. I don't know what it is about home games where they want to throw in the ball, but that's interesting. But you know, Van caught some passes. You know, Jalen Brooks, I felt bad for because that ball in the end zone, he's come down with that all year. Those types of plays. Jalen is not dropped a pass, you know, that I can remember all season, and then he had, you know, one or two the other nights I felt bad for. But you know, he made a big play on the reverse. Yeah. That's one of the.
And I'll say this to your point about Jalen, JC, because I know it's, and listen, I agree. It's the SEC. You got to catch it, right? He'd tell you he has to catch it. I was in that end zone the force with which he hit the ground with.
Oh, God.
It was not like he was just in stride and just hit him in the chest and he dropped it. So I will say, to Jalen's credit, that would have been an outstanding catch. I've just put it out there. Anyway,
and I'll say this, I played football back in the day. When you hit the ground like that, and what's worse is when you fall on the ball, you feel like you're going to die for about 10 seconds. And then you got to snap out of it. But you hit the ground like that, it knocks the wind out of you, and it's tough. It's tough. I mean, you could sometimes you black out. I mean, it was tough, but I felt bad for him. I think he'll rebound. I mean, I think we'll see the same Jalen Brooks we've seen all year moving forward. But he's pretty good. He got good players, and you're right. At some point they're going to connect on a deep ball to Amarian Brown. That's you look at what he did at Georgia Tech, and it was unfortunate against Arkansas that they couldn't quite link up, but that's his game. He's a Damiere Byrd type of receiver. That if you want a comparison, I don't know if he'll play in the NFL for however long Damiere's played in the NFL, but I think he is that type of guy. You get him on go routes, he's open, he's so fast, boom, touchdown. So I think we will see it, Chris, and I share your optimism when it does come to the fact that they have good players, and I think good players make plays, and Spencer is close. You can feel it, and you and I aren't the only ones that feel this way either. A lot of folks I talk to around the program that cover the program, they're like, it's just a matter of time before he really has a huge game. And that's good, because these last, 5 games of the season are obviously extremely important, every single one of them.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. And I think about it too. I'm like, you look at Spencer Rattler's season, and I understand it's been underwhelming to this point, but I'm like, at some point, he's going to have a game that he shows you who he is. And like, what I'm saying? His talent, you can't suppress talent forever. Like, it's going to shine at some point. Let's talk, JC, the defensive side of the football, because I really thought they were the unsung heroes of the game. And while I understand that, I think this fan base has got a great sense of envy watching the Tennessees of the world, them just scoring 50 a game. And I get it. I think
right? All of college football probably.
Right. All of college football does. And we all want it to be flashy and sexy and what have you. But the bottom line is this: the Gamecocks are finding a way to win. And a lot of it comes down to, especially the last 2 weeks, the defensive side. And you talked about it this morning, the defensive line, the way they're flying around, just taking over games. And that was the case yet again on Saturday night, just what you saw from them. And again, it's just more encouraging signs. And then at all 3 levels, man, I saw Sherrod Green all over the place. I saw Debo Williams making plays. Stone Blanton, I feel like, is becoming more and more involved on a weekly basis. And then the secondary, it just speaks for itself what they're doing, man. I think Darius Rush is making his case for, he's like, y'all love Cam Smith so much. There's no knock on Cam, but he's like, y'all love Cam Smith so much. Well, what about me? Look at what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So the defense as a whole, but we'd love to hear you expand again. I know you're really high on that defensive line and what they did for a second consecutive week in SEC play.
Yeah, and you want to match up for the Missouri game. This is the 3rd straight offensive line that the Gamecocks have faced. It's really got a lot of issues. Really they don't protect well, all that good stuff. But I thought the defensive line controlled the line of scrimmage for South Carolina. The defense wasn't perfect. The Aggies, again, players, they got a lot of good players. They're going to make some plays. Haynes King looked rattled from the time he got out there till the time he was benched. I thought the freshman that they put in, Wegman, was just a little bit better, but he's a true freshman in his first game. Wow, what an environment to shove him into, right? And he's just out there playing. Whenever you put a freshman quarterback in, you scaled everything back. You're running like 4 different plays that he can run and telling him just to make one read and take off. But South Carolina's D-line for the last 2 weeks has looked like, Chris, I think what we all expected when guys like Pickens and Birch were recruited, and Hemingway and Boogie Huntley, when we brought these defensive linemen into the program. You think, because that was kind of during the Spurrier era, how good was South Carolina's defensive front? It was elite, right? And it kind of reminds you of those defensive performances back then. Good secondary, good defensive line, and really getting improved linebacker play too. I thought Brad Johnson actually played his best game on Saturday night, so I think that's promising. And you mentioned Stone Blanton. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Stone Blanton is going to be an outstanding football player at the University of South Carolina when all is said and done. People will remember his name as long as he can stay healthy, keep developing, that kind of thing. I think he's, you talked about just getting the sense that the offense is on the verge. I don't know if it'll happen completely by the end of this year, but I think Stone Blanton's right on the verge too. So, hats off to Clayton White. I felt after we talked after the Charlotte game, Chris, on the show here, I felt like this defense, the first 3 games, did not necessarily attack like Clayton White's defenses do. I thought the second half of Charlotte, they said, all right, we're not going to sit back here and we're going to go after this team. And then they went after Kentucky, and then they went after A&M. And I think that changes the whole dynamic on defense because you've got such a good defensive line. They're disrupting, and that makes things so much easier for your linebackers and your secondary to sit there, tip passes, errant throws, rush throws, that kind of thing. I know Carolina didn't get any sacks against the Aggies, but, man, almost every pass play, they affected the passer. And you talk to coaches, they're like, well, sacks are a little overrated because, you certainly would love to get sacks, but as long as you're affecting the passer, that's kind of the name of the game. And I think Carolina's doing a masterful job of that right now. And they're going to have to, do that against Missouri. And I think, you talk about the big plays this defense has made they've turned things into points, Brady Cook, Missouri's quarterback, is very shaky on the road. This environment Missouri's coming into Saturday is unlike any environment they've played in this year. And people are like, well, they played at Florida and Auburn. How do you say that? Well, those are 2 noon kickoffs. Yeah. I don't know if anybody's watched an Auburn game lately. It's like watching paint dry, man. And they're going to get a new coach, and that'll change. And Auburn historically is difficult. So is Florida. But noon kickoffs at those 2 places in kind of an ugly up and down game, it's not going to be as rocket as Williams-Brice. Kansas State has a great environment. They played out there second game of the year. It was also an 11 a.m. Central Time kickoff. K-State boat raced them 40-12. I think Missouri's a little bit better now than they were. K-State's an option team. That's a special prep for a defense and stuff like that. But I will say that, you look at the D-line in this matchup Saturday, and if you can force obvious passing downs, I think this group can eat for the 3rd straight week and probably will eat against Vandy again. And, they go to the Swamp and see what happens.
Yeah, and JC, it's as simple as if you win the line of scrimmage, you're going to win the game. Welcome to the SEC, right? Yeah. It's as we've said before, it's cliche because it's true. JC, Beamer ball to the freaking moon, right? Special teams yet again shows itself as an area where the Gamecocks are able to win that facet. Outside of just the kickoff return for a touchdown, Kai Kroger is a weapon in the punt game. And, again, I understand it's not sexy. It's not flashy. You and I talked about this morning. But the fact of the matter is this, and not something, it doesn't really bother me because I understand, but I hear folks and I see folks a lot of times saying, South Carolina's getting bailed out by their special teams. Well, they're winning that phase of the game. I mean, it's not like the teams we've played, I feel like, have just been just terrible on special teams, and they're giving us things. Carolina's taking it. And if the opponent's going to allow you to take that facet, right? We talk all the time, JC, if you can win 2 out of 3 facets, great shot to win. Obviously, you win all 3, you win the football game. If you can steal that one, why wouldn't you? So, I mean, I look at it this way. I more so give credit to Shane Beamer and Pete Lembo to the extremely, superior job they've done versus, Carolina's just getting lucky on special teams. And I know you can't make a living banking on kickoff returns and punt returns and block punts because, those things aren't always going to happen, but you got momentum in that facet, in that phase. And I don't think that's something that should be taken lightly or certainly taken for granted.
Absolutely. You made a brilliant point earlier on our show, Chris, that I actually was thinking about last night. I was sitting out at dinner and it dawned on me. This South Carolina team looks a lot like some of those Virginia Tech teams Frank Beamer used to coach, where you'd sit there and, maybe they'd have a bad game or 2 early on. Then they'd figure it out. They're blocking punts and rushing the passer and lunch pail defense and, running the ball on offense, effectively and all that. People forget Michael Vick was only there 3 years, and that was special, but they won a lot of games other ways too. So I agree with that. This does look like one of his dad's teams in a lot of ways, and his dad's teams knew how to win. I think that as far as luck goes, you don't get. There's times you get lucky on special teams, man. The other team misses a field goal or whatever. But Pete Lembo you know, how do I best describe him? The Steve Spurrier of special teams. He's so smart because, you know, he'll go in every week. He scouts the other team. And what happens when they do things like the sudden 2-point conversion, what he's looking for is a look, you know, okay, so they're, you know, extra point block team, they're deficient right here because that, you know, when you run fakes, what you want to do is catch them because you can't cover everything. Catch them. What are they not covering? And so then he checks into it, and there you go, 2-point conversion. Or you check into it, a fake field goal. They check into it, fake punt. You know, Kai Kroger can obviously throw the football, so it's you know, that he sets all that up during the week, and sometimes we don't see it because maybe he doesn't get the look. You know, maybe they've covered it or something like that. But he sets all those fakes and blocks and things like that up, and that's awesome. And then, you know, you talk about the punt block team and things like that. Shane Beamer is absolutely right. That helps your return because teams can't set up returns when they're worried about they keep guys back to keep it from getting blocked. And so that's good. I also think this recruiting is important on special teams because you need athletes and what they do with their walk-on program. King Demarion Ford, walk-on kid from Blythewood, 6'2", 210-pound safety. I don't know how, like, your Coastals and Furmans of the world didn't want this kid, you know, because he's actually a really good player. Well, he's a great athlete. So you get in there, you get your athletes involved. Sometimes you get your starters involved. You know, you got Xavier Leggett out there making that. Marshawn Lloyd playing on special teams. You know, you've got a buy-in all the way around it. And the third thing you have to do to have good special teams is you have to work on it. You know, there's been the previous coach here, Will Muschamp, worked on it, you know, and Carolina was not like they are now, but they were pretty solid. You know, Coach Spurrier, they didn't really spend a whole lot of time, you know. They oh shoot, just send the kid. Now Spurrier always had great kickers and really good punters because the kickers and punters just sit over on that other field and punt all day, right? And he's over there just, oh shoot, we're gonna dial up some ball plays, you know. And they didn't work on it. They put walk-ons out there, and that's why, you know, Vanderbilt in 2014 returned 2 kickoffs for a touchdown and things like that. Hey, I love Coach Spurrier, and that's fine. However, he wants to work it, you know. But and some coaches don't emphasize it's my point. So to be good at it, you have to emphasize it, practice it. You have to have athletes in depth, and so you got to recruit well, and that means evaluating good walk-ons, getting athletes in your program to where they can go play, and then you have to have buy-in, and it helps to have an evil genius special teams coach. And just to be honest, you know, Pete Limbo is really, really good at coaching it. So all those things have factored in. And I don't think luck has nothing to do with Xavier Leggett getting bottled up on the sideline and refusing to go down, keeping his legs moving like he should. He probably shouldn't have even cut over there, but he did, and then scoring a touchdown. Luck has nothing to do with King Demarion Ford rolling through and blocking a punt, or what happened against Georgia State earlier this year. That's effort. That's athleticism. That's coaching. That's scheme. That's teamwork. That's buy-in. None of those things have anything to do with luck. You know, you get Kentucky boink the field goal, right? That may be luck, you know, but that's the only lucky part of Carolina's performance in that phase of the game or facet of the game this year.
You want to know how we know this is a Beamer team? Is because we just spent 10 minutes talking about special teams. Probably not many other shows out there that are talking about special teams the way we are, but that is a good thing for sure.
It gets me fired up. Like, you know, in Pete Limbo's interview yesterday was just amazing. I mean, that guy, you know, what a good individual and what a guy that kind of embraces what Beamer and really the athletics department and Carolina Gamecock Nation, whatever you want to call it, the dream and the goal and the what they want this program to be about, Chris. You know, he embodies that, and I thought that was a special. We don't get many special media moments, and you know the OC's press conference caused a lot of angst and consternation. Poor Clayton White, he can't cause any controversy, you know. but Limbo's was special. I thought it was a special moment media wise yesterday.
Now, JC, you look at this game against Missouri, and I labeled it over the summer as the most important game of this season. Just when I was evaluating the season, I felt like, you know, when I look at most important, I think of like, what's the game you can't lose and have a successful year. And when I looked at all of the streaks, you know, certainly there were many that stood out, but this 3-game losing streak to Mizzou, I think a lot of fans, and, myself included, kind of throw Mizzou, or maybe unfairly before the year, but anyways, throw them in the bucket of like Vandy and Kentucky, where it's like, this is a team you need to beat on a year-in, year-out basis. Obviously joined the league back in 2012, and they actually lead the all-time series against you. And then Eli Drinkwitz hasn't lost to the Gamecocks. That includes a win 2019 against Appalachian State. Again, whether you want to debate going in this game this weekend, is it still the most important? If you keep winning, they keep getting more important, right? For sure.
Mhm.
But, just talk about the overall landscape of this matchup and the importance of it. Because I think, for SEC East hierarchy purposes and just ending a really nasty streak, it's pivotal you get this victory. Because, again, even if you lose to Mizzou, hypothetically, I think you're still going to make a bowl game. You could still go 7-5, but it's going to leave a real black mark on this season if you can't find a way at home, homecoming, you're favored, you're finally back in the top 25 to put on one of your best performances of the season and find a way to win this game.
Yeah, it sounds crazy to say. This game could end up being a lot like the Troy game last year. People are going to be like, well, wait a minute, Troy's not in the SEC, but if you're kind of looking for who Missouri kind of can remind you of, Troy was really good on defense last season and wasn't their normal selves on offense. And, hopefully there's a better outcome in that one. And, if somebody picks up a fumble, they won't fumble it at the 1 yard line like Jamar Brown did last year. But I look at it as a must win. And I thought that for a while because, it's one thing when, you have a long losing streak to Texas A&M, right? A&M recruits, whether or not they're living up their potential or not, they recruit well. They recruit in the top 10. They're a big, powerful Texas program. It's ugly. That's fine. Kentucky kind of gets on people's nerves. But if you look at the last 4 games, that streak's kind of starting to turn back. The Gamecocks are 2-2 and probably should have had it in 2021 as well. And Kentucky's going through their best stretch of football since Bear Bryant coached there, right? So you just live with it. It's like when teams used to lose to the Gamecocks. Well, it's their best stretch of football ever, Right. Missouri, it's not been. That's not, these last 2 Missouri teams. And I thought Mizzou overachieved during the pandemic year, winning 5 SEC games. Certainly thought Eli Drinkwitz did a really good job there. I thought last year heading in, everybody's like, well, Missouri's going to contend. And then they kind of fell on their face with a historically bad defense. And then this year he's kind of fixed his defense, but his offense isn't all that good. They're not very good. I mean, it's just not and it's not historically a program. Gary Pinkel did a great job there, winning divisions in the Big 12. And then in something that sticks in Gamecock fans' crawls a bit, won 2 divisions in the SEC. But Gary Pinkel's gone. And historically, Missouri is not a very good football program. They have one of the largest journalism schools and best journalism schools in the country. So a lot of folks, like back when I was in the newspaper business, there's a ton of Missouri grads out there working in sports journalism. It's kind of a running joke with all those guys, right? Mizzou football. So, I think this is one, there's a trophy for this game, right? A second straight trophy game. You play them every year. Carolina really had their number the first 7 meetings, against them. You beating them out there in 2013, beating them pretty badly in their first ever SEC road game in 2012. Muschamp was 3-0, started 3-0 against Missouri. And that's one of the things, unfortunately, that the last 3 or 4 years has kind of slipped away. And Shane's reversed a lot of these things. Shane ended a 2-game losing streak in openers. Now he's on a win streak. Carolina had lost their win streak against teams from North Carolina. Shane's 2-0 against them. They ended the A&M streak. He ended the streak at Kentucky. And there's just all these things, they seem small, but they all add up to a big picture trajectory, right? That he's turned around. And this is the next one. Last year's loss at Missouri was, I kept going back and forth. And I think I wrote that the worst loss was Clemson just because I thought the defense did not show up for whatever reason in that one. I mean, you hold DJ to 99 passing yards and you get run all over in your own place. And I think we all knew points being scored were going to be hard that night. But that Missouri game was tough too, because Carolina had just come off a surprisingly good blowout of Florida. So you go out there, you ran all over Florida. They have a terrible run defense, and you only put up 250 yards. And, they basically tried to give you the ball game, and you didn't take it. So that's something that I know the coaching staff last year was not happy about. They felt like they let one get away there. And I think that the players will kind of understand that. Like I said, this is the toughest environment Missouri's played in all year, at least since Kansas State. So, I think that, for all those reasons, this game has a bunch of importance. And I hope that, I feel certain the crowd's going to show up. It's going to be loud. And it's going to be a situation where, if Carolina plays well, and even they have to play their best, not their very best, but their best, they'll walk away with a win.
Yeah, like you said, JC, you can debate what was the worst loss of last year.
Yeah.
And it was probably the most inexcusable. I would put it that way.
Yeah,
it just made no sense.
I was not happy, with that one.
Yeah, it made no sense. I'll ask you this, JC, about this game, because I posed this question a little bit earlier to our listeners, and in regards to what, if anything, concerns you, I guess, about Mizzou. And so I'll pose the question to you. What are the things that concern you about the matchup with Mizzou? Or does this game, or does your concern more so stem from the question of, can South Carolina get out of their own way offensively? Because when I talk to people, I don't even know that it's like, oh man, and we know that they got a solid defense, but I don't think people look at Mizzou and they're like intimidated by what the Tigers are bringing to Willie B. The concern more so lies with South Carolina themselves, is the offense going to stub their toe again and make things difficult on us? And it's going to be a situation where, maybe this is a week where you're even in the special teams category, or you play good defense, but you don't get that game-changing pick or fumble recovery or that big play. Will the offense be able to get out of their own way and go win a game if they're asked to? Where do you fall in that? Is there anything Mizzou does, or are you more so concerned with just, can the Gamecocks do what they need to do to get it done?
I'm concerned. They do present some concerns. A guy named Cody Schrader. Okay. These are the types of guys that can help you turn a season around, right? This guy runs. He wasn't – Nathaniel Peake was a Stanford transfer, was a starting running back. Last week they took him out and put this kid in. This kid had 6 carries for 89 yards against Georgia. All right, he's a 5th or 6th year guy from St. Louis, Missouri, balled out at a place called Truman State, a D2 program. Got in the portal. Missouri took him. He is a daggum load. He runs and runs and runs. And Carolina's run defense has been good at, limiting guys like Rodriguez and A-Chain and all that. But my hope is that the coaching staff, Clayton White and his guys, have emphasized this dude can kill you. And if you look at Eli Drinkwitz's offense, he loves to dink and dunk on the perimeter and all that good stuff and run wide. But he also likes to run it right at you. He did that with Tyler Beatty last year. I'm sure that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to line up and run with this kid and keep the Gamecocks offense off the field, wear down the Gamecocks defense, and not get in a situation where the defensive line has to, you have to counteract these guys, in the passing game and depend on Brady Cook. So that guy concerns me. Obviously, a talent like Luther Bolden would concern you. I also think Tyrone Hopper, who, Carolina almost had him out of high school. He went to Florida, got in the portal. Now he's their leading tackler out there. He's a South Carolina native, grew up in Gaffney. He's coming home. Trajan Jeffcoat from Irmo is coming home, the all-ACC defensive end they have. They have a lot to prove. There's just some individual pieces there that could be problematic for the Gamecocks that maybe don't get you got to stop A-Chain, or, you got to stop Rodriguez, or, you got to stop Barry and Brown of the last few weeks. So those are the concerns, is because I do think that they have some really nice players, and they haven't gotten over the hump victory-wise, and, they had a loss to Auburn that would make your head explode if it happened to the Gamecocks. Yeah. But, you really need to watch it and make sure you go out there and don't take them lightly. Because they do have the weapons to come in and potentially have a better day than they had against Vandy on offense or whatever. And then we all know about their defense. It's pretty good as well. So there's some parts there at Missouri that I like and that would concern me from a Gamecocks perspective.
JC, the Cocks are hot. Cocktober is in full effect. Cocktober is in full effect, indeed. Missouri is a football team that you can look at it one of two ways. You know, they're just on the edge. They're due for a breakout performance. They've been close in their SEC games. You can also look at it as they've found ways to lose games. South Carolina, on the flip side, you could say, oh, they've been cheating death and getting lucky, and special teams and defense has been bailing out. You can also look at it as Carolina's been finding ways to win games. So when the dust settles, how do you see this one playing out? Does Cocktober continue on Saturday afternoon?
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that, I think that there's going to probably be some moments early, not necessarily on offense, on defense where you go, oh, man, Gamecocks could be in trouble. It kind of reminds me of one of those games where everybody's sort of like a little nervous, about it. I know in 2007 when I was actually in Columbia covering the team from the press box, which thank goodness I don't have to do that anymore, but Mississippi State came to town. And it's funny because Ellis Johnson was the D coordinator there and had the booth right next to me. And boy, if you ever want to hear some colorful language, sit near Ellis during a football game he's calling. But, Spurrier made mention of it. He's like, I watched him on film. This team's really good. I'm scared. He said, I'm scared. He said, I am scared to death. On his radio show. Well, Carolina came out there. There were some scary moments early, but Gamecocks ended up pulling away 38-21. And so to me, it's that kind of game, kind of maybe similar to Missouri in 2016 after the big win over Tennessee. And Carolina's got to get bowl eligible. They come in, they're not very good, but they still have Drew Lock. And that was a back and forth game for a while before Jake Bentley and the Gamecocks won. That kind of matchup. So I'm thinking, and I'll drop my prediction here on your show since I did it last Thursday. I'm just going to start doing that. I'm going to say 21-10 Gamecocks. I don't know that it'll get high scoring. I'm with you. This offense is about to break out. Maybe we'll see a big play in the passing game. Maybe we won't. I'm just going to kind of give credit to the Missouri D and say that they're going to cause some trouble, but it'll be one of those games where sort of their offense will do things early and then sputter, and the Gamecocks eventually will pull away for a lower scoring-ish double-digit win.
Punching bowl eligibility before the month of November. That sounds like a good thing to me. Good idea. JC, before we get you out of here finally on the recruiting side of things, I would imagine that atmosphere at Williams-Brice Stadium was felt by all of those recruits in attendance. Just anything new, what you're hearing from the recruiting side of things for Shane Beamer and company?
Very interesting visitors list last week. 8 of the top 100 prospects in the country per 24/7 Sports composite for the class of 2024 were in Williams-Brice Stadium. And they all had great things to say. Now, 2024 is down the road. I don't know that they'll get all these guys or whatnot, but what you want to do with a younger recruit is plant that seed, keep him coming back, keep his family coming back, show him, hey, wow, this is a big-time program here. So that was good. They had a kid in, Terrence Love, that's committed to Auburn that they're trying to flip out of Atlanta. They have a running back that's committed to Kentucky. They're trying to flip out of Alabama named Riley. That's a bigger back, probably will remind you of Brandon Wilds a little bit, Rashad Amos maybe, and they're trying to flip him. This kid DJ Chester, 4-star offensive lineman from Georgia, just showed up on a whim. Yeah, hey, I want to come to the game, and so that they're trying to get back in it with him. So I thought it was a really interesting list of visitors in terms of, so you got flip candidates, and then you're also laying massive groundwork for, Chris, I don't know if a lot of people realize this. In the state of South Carolina in the 2024 cycle, you have 2 franchise offensive tackles in Cam Pringle and Josiah Thompson, and Carolina is looking good for me. Those are the types of offensive linemen you normally see Alabama and Georgia get, or Texas or somebody like that. And so they're laying groundwork there. They're in on a lot of kids out of the D.C. area. Again, Dylan Stewart's a 4-star defensive end for 2024. This class 2023 is in the top 15. Probably will end up, I think, anywhere from 13-ish to 20-ish in the country. And there's 6 in the SEC, which is always good. You always want to be on that top half. But I think 2024, Chris, could be that class you look at and go, wow. you know, these guys, you know, this is a transformational class for a program. And a lot of times it is your third cycle or your fourth cycle where you get that type of group together. You know, I think 2021, they did what they could. You still have some nice players like Juju McDowell and Amarian Brown you brought in, David Spalding. 2022, they love everybody they signed, you know, and you got Nick Warray, DQ Smith out there playing, a lot of defensive backs, you know. This 2023 class obviously is top 15 lineman heavy, but 2024 could be across the board, you know, just a special cycle. And these guys can all recruit. They always have great plans. The kids love the visit. Taylor Edwards does an outstanding job with that, running all that. And, you know, it couldn't have really gone any better from a recruiting aspect Saturday night.
Love to hear it. JC Sherbert of the Big Spur Inside the Gamecocks does a fantastic job. And check me out on Inside the Gamecocks every Thursday, 11:30. We chat, talk South Carolina football. You guys know the drill. JC, always a pleasure, man. Really excited for the weekend. Always excited to chat with you, and I appreciate you bringing the heat as always, my friend. We'll do it again next week.
All right, Chris. Thanks, man. See you guys.
Yeah, man. Take care. Great stuff from JC Sherbert, and we feed right into 2 o'clock. My bad, Thomas. I just saw your comment about Lenora Sellers. I'll shoot JC a text, and I'll update you on tomorrow's show. I do apologize. I normally have like the comments blocked, so I'm able to just lock in on JC or the guest or whatever they're saying. But great stuff there, man, from JC Sherbert. He's got the Gamecocks winning 21-10. How about that? A little bit of a lower scoring game. Hammer the under, he says. Hammer the under. Guys, what a day. What a day. We got a text here. Let's see. Texter chimes in with a question or a comment. He says, while we are on special teams, shouldn't we have kicked a field goal into the game instead of going for it? I thought that was a bad call. So you know what's funny about that? Because people have asked me, guys, maybe I'm as, you know, much to not to blame, but dude, I was so on cloud nine. I had locked up the W. I was hardly like, I was paying attention, but I was like, we're just running out clock, whatever. Like I wasn't even thinking about it. So that's my bad. I guess that's my bad. I guess I should have been more aware of myself in that moment. But I was so on cloud nine because I was like, dude, we just locked this up. We're done. We got it. We secured victory. You know, and I guess when you win, those type of things aren't talked about. They don't stand out, but you know, hopefully a learning experience. I'm sure a learning experience for all parties involved. And, you know, so, you know, definitely something to keep in mind, I guess, moving forward. But yeah, no, Lady Bree, these sessions are not pre-recorded. They are not pre-recorded. We do this live. I just normally, like I said, I block out the chat just so because I'll find myself talking with the guest and then looking at the chat and back and forth. And I'm losing I want to be as present moment as possible with the guest. But no, nothing on here, Lady Bree, is pre-recorded. It's all live. It's all live. So guys, again, we're about to hit 2 o'clock. I just want to say thank you all so much for the banter, the engagement, the calls, the comments. Of course, thank you to JC Sherbert. Guys, I can say this, I really do mean this, that this is an absolute blast, and I love doing the Daily Crow on a day in, day out basis. I mean, I truly look forward to this every single day. It's such a blessing that I get to wake up and do this and chat with you guys, and you guys obviously bring the heat, and we have, I think, productive banter and conversation, and it's just awesome. It's just awesome. I love it, truly. Again, podcast will drop tomorrow. It'll be a full breakdown and preview, and my prediction for the game Saturday against Mizzou. All that much more will be a really, really good time, guys. Of course, stay tuned to everything. TSUS Tailgate Saturday at Seawells. And, of course, content bleeding out the eyeballs. Also, we got our Big Cock Club hangout tonight at 7:30. If you have not joined patreon.com/Big Cock Club, you can join our Discord, and we'll hang out in the Discord. We'll watch a little football. We'll talk a little business, just talk a little ball, shoot the shit, have a good time, maybe drink a couple Rebel Rabbits. Why not? Guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and we will talk to you all tomorrow.